So the main body of the SDragon has been attached, and we are going to start working on the head. The head of the SDragon, like the instructions say, is worked in the round. So now instead of going back and forth, we are actually going to go around the body and build up 5 pieces of herringbone stitch. So there'll be 5 pieces. That will be the upper right eyebrow, a lower right cheek, a chin and jaw, a lower left cheek, and upper left eyebrow, and they'll all come together and close into a snout, a boobable snoot at the end. The herringbone for the first round is going to be adding different beads to match up with the main body. So we'll be using C beads, B beads, and A beads to make it more seamless of a transition going from body to head, well, body to neck to head. And my focus is actually cooperating a little bit. You want the dragon to look like it was built in all one piece, which is why the neck starts with the 3 different beads. Let's get that going. I'll be using a lot of C's throughout this part, and then just a couple of B's. I say a couple, but I think it's 8, 6 or 8. And then the A's, you only need 4 of these guys. Only the first round uses A beads. Off. There. If you didn't have thread already, make sure it's tied on and comes out through the A bead through the D bead to the left of the spine. And this is about where my camera says nope. But I have it ready here to take control. And if you already had thread and you've tied the end of the body together, just make sure again it comes out through that B bead on the left side of the spine. You're going to start row 1 by picking up 4 seed beads. I keep saying C, and if you accidentally hear seed, I apologize. I'm doing my best to be clear and concise. Let the 4 beads go to the bottom of the thread against the main body. Position your needle in the C bead here. This is from row 5. And draw your needle all the way through. As you do, your thread will fold in half, and your 4 C beads will arrange themselves in a 2x2 clump or cluster or group. So you've got a piece of herringbone that used 4 beads but only added 2 rows of beads when drawn through. Now we're going to go back to the outside of the main body by going down a row again in the peyote, this time to the B bead, and back out again, making sure those 4 stay in their 2x2 group. And we're going to pick up B beads to match up with rows 1 and 3. So you want 4 of those on your needle. Let them fall all the way to the end, and go in through row 1 B bead here. When you draw your 9 through, your thread again will fold in half, and all 4 beads will sit in a 2x2 group at the end of your dragon body. I'm going to go back to the outside again. Now we're going through an A bead, and this will be 1 up to the A beads here. Going, going, going all the way out. And we want the beads to match up. So we're going to pick up 2 A beads. Sorry, 4 A beads. 4 A beads. That you've already got laid out and ready to go. Do, 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 do. And you'll go in through that second A bead. This is why you wanted to have 2 on this side of the SDragon. Let your thread fold, let the A beads go in a 2x2 group. And now you're going to go on the other side of the body out through the other row 1 delica. To lock that in. Because there's a size difference, you may have to fiddle around a little bit and make them stack up neatly. But in the next round, they'll start lining up better. On this side of the body, uh-oh, what's going on? Why are we so loose here? We're not broken. Okay, I'm going to go back and reinforce that when I do this round. Sometimes it happens. You think you have good tension and then a bead falls into place and then you realize, oops, no, your tension sucks. And you just got to go back and reinforce it. Part of the experience. Okay, this side of the body, pick up 4 B beads. Down to the bottom of the needle. Go through the B bead in row 3. Here. And let them fold over as you draw the NYMO through. And back out again through the C bead. This is the last C bead of the round. And we're picking up 4 C beads to stack on it. Do, 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 do. And then we're going to go through the D bead. Now that technically is the end of the round. You've gone all the way around, you've got your 5 pieces of herringbone, but now you need to close it off and step up in order to begin round 2. So you're going to go through this size 8 seed bead, down here, this other D bead, and make sure your needle exits out of the C beads you added to be positioned for round 2. But before I actually do that, I'm going to go and weave back and forth and close off these so that they aren't so wiggly and wobbly. Benefits of beadwork experience, I know how to fix this up and then get back to where I gotta be again. My knot probably slipped, and the only reason why it's not unwinding on me is because I'm still using the same piece of NYMO as I work on the head. So this is a lesson, if nothing else, to be very careful that your knot is secure and to not cut the tail of your thread, but instead tuck it into the body when you can. Make sure that's snug this time and not moving around. We're good? All right, back to where I was here. Through the D bead and the 2 C beads. And ready to start round 2. So by now, at the end of round 1, you have gone through steps 1 all the way to 10. That's figure 11 and 11A if you're looking for a bead by bead and how they're woven together. How they weave together? No, how they're woven together. Because grammar matters. This second round is only going to add 1 stack of beads all the way around. So instead of picking up 4, we're going to pick up 2. When you pick up 4 beads, you're stacking up your beads by 2. When you pick up 2 beads, you're only stacking your beads by 1. and herringbone stitch. Round 4 starts with step 22, and here's where we're going to kind of change things up on you again. It's time to add the eyes, and the eyes are going to fit in between the herringbone pieces. So this little space here is going to be an eye. That's what makes this the eyebrow and this the cheek. My eyes are the F beads, and they're going to be these azure crystals. They're kind of blue, they're kind of clear, but they've got an AB sort of finish on them that makes them sparkly. These are crystals, which means they are going to be sharp on their edges. So when you're working with them, you don't want to saw through your Nymo thread. That would be a disaster, to be working on the head of your dragon and suddenly have the thread break. So be really conscious and focused on not pulling too hard on your Nymo while you're adding them. If your thread breaks, sure, you could fix it. Let's just not let our thread break though. Going to go all the way around the dragon again, adding 2 beads, which means we're increasing the round stacks by 1. So you start by picking up 2, and hopefully you're reading the instructions, because now instead of going down through 2 beads, you're only going to go down through 1. This is to keep the eye from being too far in to the herringbone and allow it to spread open and adjust for the 4 millimeter of the eye. So go through 1 C bead, the C bead from round 3, and then pick up your crystal and go out through 1 C bead from round 3 again. Don't pull too tightly, just make sure it's snug and there. Does it stick out a bit? Yeah, it's kind of like a little frog, but trust the pattern. It will settle in place as you continue to build. The next 3 herringbone pieces are the same as round 3. You're going to go through 2 C beads and then out through 2 C beads. Until you get to the other side of the SDragon head, where it's time to add the next eye. Oh yeah, let's not do that. Don't pick up beads until you're on the outside, Saren. Follow your own instructions. There we go. Now we pick up the 2 C beads. On this other side, we're about to add the eye again. So we're only going to go in through 1 sea bead on this side, not through the thumb. Thank you. We're going to pick up the second crystal, and we're going to go out again through one. Pull it snug, make sure there's space for it to fit, but don't tug on the Nymo. Pick up 2 sea beads. We're going to go in 2 again, because we want the head to have a bridge in between each of its beginning and ending herringbones. So, if I can line mine up properly, I'm going to go through all 3 sea beads here. 1, 2, 3. Row 2, row 3, and row 4. Again, the eyes are a little buggy. Oops, my beads are a little loose too, so I do actually need to tighten that down there. Tug on the chin. There we go. But they will settle into place in the next round. Round 5. Round 5. We're not adding anything to the eyes necessarily, but we do want to pull them in. So we're going to repeat each step of round 4, but this time we're not going to add a bead. We're just going to go through the same F crystals here from round 4. Pick up 2, go down 1, go through the crystal, and go up 1 seed bead. You can really see the 5 pieces of herringbone now, and kind of get a visual from the inside of the dragon, what it's gonna do when you start closing off the snout. Oh, and also look, now that we have gone through the F bead again, but further down the row, hey, look, it's not sticking out so much anymore compared to the other side. Right? Trust the pattern. Pick up 2 seed beads. Go through 2 seed beads now, because we're at the chin part. And out 2 seed beads. And I'm out of seed beads, so I need more. If you feel like you have too many beads for this dragon, you probably do, but you won't know for sure until you get to the end. So please make sure that you don't repurpose your beads until your dragon tail has been completely finished with a flail. Or you might be disappointed when you realize, oh wait, I need those bee beads here. And I thought I was done with them when I finished the head of the dragon. Nope, hang on to them right until the end of the pattern. Pick up 2 again. Go through 1 sea bead. 1, not 2, 1. And then through the crystal. And out through 1 sea bead. Look at that. It's being drawn into line again. I'm going to cap off this row with 2 sea beads, going through 2 here, making them sit in that 1 by 2 cluster, and we are exiting through 3 sea beads to get ready for round 6. And I'm going to leave you guys here at this point for now. You should have 5 pieces of herringbone with the eyes in between. Everything's lined up nicely for the spine. And round 6 will be the pupils. Those will be fun. They glow in the dark. I will see you guys in the next part of the tutorials. We are going to add the pupils next to the SDragon, and just like adding the eye to the SDragon, we're going to add the G bead and then do another round without adding the G bead while we continue to build up the face. So I need my C's and my G's. And all of the pupil beads are going to be glow in the dark. No matter what kit you have, you will have 2 clear beads that will glow blue in the dark. Go through a single C bead when you pick up the 2. Uh-oh, uh-oh, I did it again. There we go. Single seed bead when you pick up the 2. And then before you go through the other side, grab that pupil bead and go through the C bead at the end of the next piece of herringbone. And the pupil is now in there. All pretty. I should make sure that I'm able to tell you the round number as well. So round 6, step 29 is where you're doing this. There we go. Pro tutorial maker. That's me. We continue going around the rest of the head, adding 2 beads. And again, we're switching to going through 2 C beads like before. Another thing I didn't do is take control of my camera, so it keeps having to refocus. Let's fix that. Da, 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 da. Slow poke. There's a good spot. Back up again. Oh, make sure you go through both of those C beads when you go back up, not one of them. Also, try not to snag the other herringbone. That doesn't work either. Pick up 2. Go down through 2. Back up again through 2. And make sure they keep settling in those single layers of 2 beads. We're only adding on to the dragon by 1 bead all the way around. So you pick up 2 beads, but they settle as 1 layer. This is the cheekbone on the other side, so only going through the C bead at the end. Pick up the the G bead, the glow in the dark G bead, and you go out through the single C bead at the end. Last 2 to finish this round. Going down through 2 C beads. Kind of got the shakes going all of a sudden. Sorry, guys. And to close the round and get set up for round 10. Sorry, round 7. You go through 3 pieces. If your herringbone shuffles around and your eyes sink in, just do what I did. Kind of shuffle them back out again with your pinky or pen top or pencil, whichever. I am going to add a new thread. I don't want to be cutting myself short or struggling with a short tail. And if you're at the same part as, you don't know if your thread will finish off the snout, then you're just going to weave it back in through the beads that are stacked. Actually adds a little bit of reinforcement to it at the same time. Go all the way back to the main body with your thread. So thread is all started again, woven through the body. It's not going anywhere. It's locked pretty well. And I can move on to round 7. Going to follow all the steps from round 5, but this time we're not adding any G beads. We're just picking up 2 C's, going down through 1 bead, through the pupil, back out through 1 bead to really get them lined up nicely. 2 beads, go through 2 C's this time to connect the chin. And up through 2 C beads. Make sure they're lining up properly. I need more C beads. Let's just get them all. Then I won't have to waste time getting more out later. Chin. Out through 2. Now we're at the pupil again. So we're going to pick up 2, but only go through 1. And then the pupil. And then out 1 again. And last piece of herringbone. To close the round, I have to go through all 3 beads, but my needle is struggling a little bit getting in there. There we go. And that's the pupils. Added, settled. They're all sunken in now. As long as I don't overstuff the head of the dragon with the felt, the pupils will stay pretty sunken in. Same thing with the eyes. So the F and G beads will stay pretty in line with your dragon. I'm trying to avoid that shadow caused by my camera, sorry. Ooh, pretty. We are going to repeat round 3 2 times to get rounds 8 and 9. And after that, it'll be time to taper down the snoot of the dragon. We should have 5 pieces of herringbone with 10 rows of seed beads, if you count along the spine. So from the size 8 to the tip should be 10 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 10 sea beads. I get an A+ for following my own instructions. Now we're going to taper down the snoot. But before we do that, you might notice that there is this gap here between rounds 9 and 8. Round 10 is only going to use the beads in round 9. So we are going to just go around without adding any beads to join the herringbone together at round 8. So we're just going to go down 2 beads without adding anything, and up 2 beads without adding anything, all the way around the dragon snoot. This is again to just give your dragon a consistent closing without gaps in the face. Whenever I make my own dragons, I tend to do this step whenever I feel like it. Sometimes it's after I've already closed the snout. Sometimes it's now, before I close the snout. But you do want to have a piece of thread joining all the herringbones together from the base of the dragon neck to the snout of the dragon. It's the last piece of herringbone going into beads and out 2 beads. Come on. And now we're ready to do the taper part. You'll see nice lines of Nymo in between all of your herringbone pieces, except the very, very first row where we added 2 at a time instead of 1 at a time. But we'll fix that later on. Let's close the snoot.